mistakes offensively for the Patriots. What excites you the most about this challenge?
The biggest thing is there's some good pieces in place. I think the best thing for everybody is it's going to be a fresh start for everybody. I've talked to a couple guys already. It's coming in with a clean slate, no preconceived expectations or notions of who these guys are, and then we'll build it from the ground up. But exciting to have the opportunity to do that.
Alex, who did you connect with?
I've talked to Mac a little bit, met some of the guys as they come through the building, met Pop, met a few other guys that have just been through the building. But there's some good pieces there, and excited to get a chance to get to work with those guys.
How do you get ready for this job with not knowing what's going to happen now, 2 months from the draft, and number 3 pick, the quarterback situation? How does that affect what maybe system you're trying to use or set some ground rules?
There's definitely some pieces of the puzzle that aren't quite put in place yet, and that's our job. So at the end of the day, once we get everything established, see who we are, who we have available to us, and then we'll put that puzzle together with those pieces that we have.
Yeah, you're known for your versatility. How much will that help?
I think you always have to play to the strengths of your players, regardless of position. So we'll try to put those guys, whoever they are, in the best position to be successful. Again, while at the same time understanding where they're maybe deficient in their areas and try to guard against those deficiencies.
It looks like there's some familiar faces for you on the coaching staff anyway. How much is that going to help, or how much do you anticipate that helping in terms of the run up to the season?
I think it'll help tremendously. I think that a lot of the guys on the staff I have familiarity with, I've worked with in different areas, different teams. And the one thing I'll say about these guys is they're great teachers, great communicators, and great people. The familiarity with the scheme will help, but just the understanding of who we want to be as a coaching staff, that's the most important piece. And I think there's a lot of great pieces in that room that'll help for sure.
Alex, how excited are you to call plays, and how different is your job as an offensive coordinator when you're calling plays versus not calling plays?
It's definitely different. Obviously, the more responsibility you have for calling the plays. I'm excited about doing it. I've had opportunities to do it in the past at different levels. I got to call a whole season in NFL Europe, which was a blast. Kind of cut my teeth there and got to learn how to do it. Made a ton of mistakes and nobody cared. And really, it was like they just wanted to see you kick the ball, which was awesome. So a lot of cheering. But, that was a great experience for me. And then I got thrown into it in Buffalo in 2009, and our opening game was here, unfortunately, against the Patriots on a Monday night, and felt like we had them on the ropes until the very end, but gained a lot of experience in that season as well, and then had a chance to call a few games during the COVID season, and I think I've just gotten more experience and feel way more comfortable than I did the first game I called on that Monday night here, but excited about the opportunity. Again, it's a collaborative effort. It's not just going to be me. I made a lot of input from my coaches, and helped me in that area.
Same offense that Kevin Stefanski ran in Cleveland?
I would say similar. I'd say there's a lot of similarities. Again, it's those pieces of that puzzle. What's available and how can we make those guys successful? But there'll be similarities. I've taken pieces of a lot of different offenses over my time, and kind of melded those together in what's best for us at that time.
Alex, to that point about player strength, how much of your playbook can you really write, knowing stuff afraid to see ahead draft? And then obviously everyone will be here right after that.
The good news is I've done a lot of different ways. Like I said, I've been under center a ton. I've been in the shotgun a ton. I've had issues with personnel in certain areas and been able to adjust and adapt to that. We're not exactly sure what pieces of that puzzle we'll have, but I feel confident with the coaching staff that we'll be able to put those people in the right place. It's not so much about scheme, it's about the players and putting those people in positions. So there's a lot of different schemes out there. The best ones put the best players in positions to be successful.
Alex, the process of you getting hired here a little bit, because I felt like it was kind of kept under wraps until the announcement was made. Kind of what went into that and what was your experience?
I had an opportunity to interview in a couple places and had some really good experiences doing that. Got called in here on a Wednesday. Been in touch with Elliott a little bit prior to that. Was excited for the opportunity to come in and interview, and then hopefully I think they felt pretty good about me at the end of the day when I left. So it was fast and it was exciting, but I hope they feel like they made a good decision, because I'm excited to be here.
How would you describe your idea?
Smart, tough, and a leader. You put them in those categories. I mean, obviously there's accuracy in the pass game and mobility and decision making. There's a lot that goes into it. But at the end of the day, that role is such an important role for the rest, not just the offense, for the team as well. So a guy that's a true leader that can come in and really understands his teammates and gets the best out of those guys. The physical attributes are obviously important, but if a guy is a great leader and can come in and make good decisions and throw the ball accurately, those are all pluses. But the guys that I've been around that are the great players, often the best leaders and the most competitive guys as well.
How did your time in the league as a quarterback shape you as a coach?
Oh, that had a lot to do with it. I've learned so much. I've been blessed to have so many great coaches in my lifetime. Really started off for me with Paul Hackett at the University of Pittsburgh, who was a Joe Montana's coach, West Coast guy, taught me everything I know about quarterback play. So having those experiences with great coaches and then being able to go out and do it on the field, it's definitely got me ready to be in this position now. And really for the quarterback, it's understanding what he can and can't do, what we're asking him to do and what he can't do, and then having the experiences of being in those situations as a player. I think I have an understanding of what his strengths and weaknesses are and how can we make him a better player.
Alex, speaking of Paul Hackett, what were some of the greatest lessons that you took from him, and how have you kind of put your own spin on some of those core philosophies?
Not a lot of spins. I mean, there's some stuff obviously we do different, but the drill work that I did in college that Joe did when he was with Paul is the same one that Aaron Rodgers did, and that all the quarterbacks I've worked with. So a lot of those traditional quarterback drills we'll still have. The play action pass game, the ball handling, the fakes that you make and all the little details that go into that was a huge piece that I took away from him. The knowledge of the game, understanding protections, understanding the issues, those were big pieces as well. And then he taught me how to be a leader of men too, and I thought that was some of the great lessons from him. But I was blessed to be with a lot of great coaches, Kevin Gilbride, Steve Craigthorpe, guys that have coached me over my career. I've been in a lot of different systems, and I think that just helps broaden your experience and broaden your knowledge of offensive football.
Alex, you mentioned that you had a chance to meet Mac Jones. Can you envision him being this team's starter next season?
Really right now, everything is on the table. As we go through this process, we're really this last couple weeks, 10 days, have just been diving into who we are. Trying to evaluate our guys. A lot of people in this situation on staffs that have been here, they're doing free agency. Well, we're doing our guys as they are free agents. So we're trying to understand who we have here as well as looking at other players out there. But right now, everything is on the table, and we're just still working through that process. When that time comes, I'm sure it'll be a collaborative effort, and we'll make the right decisions.
Do you want to describe you as a relationship guy? Having been back there in the pocket and seen what a quarterback will see, how has that aided you in building relationships with a lot of different quarterbacks, different types of people?
The one thing about that position is you coach everybody a little bit differently. I think you have to have that relationship first to get to know that person, to see how they work, how they think, and really how you can make them better. I've been in a lot of different rooms with a lot of different types of personalities, and those relationships help you, to build that connection where now you're getting the best out of those. A guy comes in a bad mood, you know how to deal with that guy. A different guy comes in with a bad mood. I know him well enough to know that what worked for this guy may not work for that guy. But at the end of the day, it's building those relationships, having your players understand that you are trying to make them better players. You have their best interest in mind. And this is really, we talk about football family. That's one thing we'll talk about a lot. This is us together, doing it for each other with one heartbeat and, one purpose. And I think the sooner we get a chance to build that culture, I think things can go positively quickly.
Offensive line.
I'm sorry?
The offensive line, what are the traits that you value the most for offensive line in your scheme?
In our scheme, smart for starters. We'll do some things at the line of scrimmage. We have to be smart. It depends. It depends on what scheme we run, quite honestly. And that again will come down to those puzzle pieces. Is this guy a guard that can pull? Then we'll have some more gap schemes in where we get him on the perimeter. Is he more of a downhill thumper? So we'll put those pieces together once we get those. Once we know who is on our roster. But athletic guys up front are good. Smart guys are good. Obviously tough guys, and then we're looking for teammates. That's the biggest thing. We want guys that want to work for each other in that room and really care about each other. So if you can come out and work hard and love your brother and be a good player, you're going to fit just right in.
As best you can you just take us through your interview from when you got here Wednesday to making that agreement on Thursday?
Sure.
Talk about what you did.
Sure. Got in Wednesday evening, came over, spent about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. with the crew, and just really more of a Q&A. Got to know them, got to know me, where I was, family history, coaching background, beliefs, philosophy. And then the next morning came over and did the football portion of that. Just talked about scheme, how I would run the room, how would I run the offense, how the meeting structures would be set up, things like that. But I thought it was great. It was a great opportunity to come to a great organization. I mean, obviously I have a lot of history with Elliott, from our days together in Green Bay. So it felt good to come in and talk to people that were listening. It was good.
Yeah, if you're evaluating a quarterback prospect, whether it's this year, next year, or any year, what specifically are you looking for? What traits do you like? What do you want to see in a quarterback you might have to work with going forward?
Sure. Again, just goes back to decision-making, accuracy, the fundamentals of mechanics, if the guy's sound. Big one, again, is leadership. Was he a 3-year captain? Why wasn't he a captain? So all that really plays together. The big piece for me is the leadership, the toughness, the accuracy, and the decision-making. You could switch them in either way, but all four are super important. Okay, guys.